Well, good morning. 444. Why 4, not 555? Well, because 4 is about Earth. It's about grounding. Um, that's what it means to me. If it means something different to you, well, you can have your meaning. I have my meaning. I'm telling you, for me, it means grounding, and it means the four corners of the Earth, the four directions, etc. The title for the 11th video for the 11th of July, which is my daughter's birthday, is Hierarchies from Hell, but also from Heaven. Awakening people have come to hate the hierarchical structure of the matrix we are coming to see as a beast engaged in human slavery, an extortion racket, and corporate fraud permeating every structure of human society. This is the hierarchy from hell. As with everything in a dualistic world, I have is, but it's supposed to be in a dualistic world, there is always a flip side. I believe this is also true of hierarchies. If we can see the cruelty of hell's tyranny, can we not also see what is coming on the horizon to change all of that? Yes, if something false can exist in our experiential reality, so must its opposite. There must be a hierarchy of heaven too. The Most High God reigns. The goddess of heaven and earth hears the cries of her children. We live in a time of revelation, a time of apocalypse, a time when hidden occult mysteries are being revealed. This is not only a game changer, it heralds the birth of a new world, a new humanity. It will have structure, just as our lives need structure. The rule of truth and justice that will bring peace on earth must begin within each of us as we face the lies in our individual lives. And as it takes root in us, it is changing the world. This topic was precipitated by an email that I received this morning, or at least I read it this morning. It actually came just before midnight last night from a lady named Michelle. I really don't know Michelle. She's one of probably many of my friends that I've never met. And she said, "Hi, Ron. Thank you for what you do. I'm a little confused listening to the ambassador who talks about loving thy neighbor, people awakening to love, etc., and then advises us that he himself is part of a hierarchical structure. I find it hard to believe in what he says when it's the same very structure of control and hierarchy we are trying to move away from and trying to move into the open and transparent love vibe frequency. Without being open and transparent with their dealings and goings on, then it's the same secretive structures, hierarchical control hidden from humanity, the same information we get from the rest of the secretive structures of hierarchical and control. Are we swapping the secretive structures of the cabal for the secretive nest of families?" There's a lot more to the letter. That's not even quite half of the letter. About a third, probably, of the letter. Anyway, I'm not going to read the rest. That triggered the topic for today's video. Yesterday, I posted a video on YouTube about the Queen being a fraud. And they won a court case before a jury trial in which the plaintiff said that the courts were basically invalid because they owed their allegiance and got their authority from the Queen, and the Queen broke her oath when she swore to uphold the laws of God and then proceeded to violate every law of God known to man in signing all of the hierarchical codes and treaties and other regulations that basically undermined human rights and took away the law of God, or the common law based on maxims of law, based on truth, based on equity and equality, based on reality. She, in moving into the fraudulent signing of things, she committed treason against heaven, and that case was won. Another case, in another judge in the United States, ruled that police and also soldiers and government agencies are fictions, and they can be sued in their personal capacity. Indeed, every human being under the code of heaven, under the law of God, is responsible and accountable. There is no corporate veil structure that allows people to get away with what the cabal has gotten away with, the hierarchical structure of hell on earth, which helped awaken in us enough discontent that we would dig a little deeper and go down the rabbit hole a little more and see the system of fraud that has been erected around us. And for the most part, we went along with it because it was tolerable. As it becomes more and more intolerable, more and more people wake up. As we see what's happening around the world, we see that the hierarchy of hell is being exposed in all of its horrific reality. We see that with the Vatican and the pedophile priests and the pedophile popes, the pedophile cardinals and bishops and archbishops, and the whole hierarchical structure corrupted to its core. We see it in the United States as people who were supposed to be putting forth the light of the world in a flame of freedom for humanity, as symbolized by the Statue of Liberty. It's supposed to be the torch of freedom. Well, it's not. It's all fraud. The whole structure has been fraud through and through and through, and it's treason against heaven. Now, if hell has a hierarchy, and you know that you can't counterfeit something that isn't real or does not have an essential component that is actual and true, then the counterfeit makes no sense. I mean, if you counterfeited money and there was no such thing as real money, no one would buy the counterfeit. You can only counterfeit something that's real. You can only make a copy of something that is ultimately reality. So when there is a hierarchy of hell, when there is a hierarchy, a matrix structure that commits fraud and hides behind corporate veils and is involved in extortion of wealth and harms the citizens of the world, the people of the world, harms them and creates a language that undermines the whole thing, that casts spells to put us to sleep. When we see all of this, do we not also realize that it's a counterfeit of something that is real, that needs to be internalized within us? We need to let the king, our higher self, the divine nature, the Christ spirit, the Buddha spirit, we need to let that be the ruling factor in our lives. If we do not have a proper king, if the ego, the little self, operates as the king in our life, we're going to have a life that is not in balance. There's no harmony. There's no song, or very little song. Very little good comes out of it. Why? Because we reap what we sow. There is the repercussion of our action of making a slave a king. When if the slave would only serve the king, it would no longer be in slavery. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? The ambassador, yes, he's part of a hierarchy. He's part of a hierarchy that has existed for a long time. He's part of a hierarchy that until a few years ago went along with the rest of the hierarchies of the world. But there was an awakening. There was a 555 occurring. And the ambassador may be one of the ones that helped bring that awakening to the dragon family. I don't know the whole story. I've gotten pieces of it here and there and everywhere. But I do know that the ambassador in his personal family, in his lineage, if you will, has practicing Christians, practicing Jews, practicing Muslims. I do know that there are others in the family that he tells me about that are Buddhists or Hindus from all the 5 major world religions. The 5 major religions of the world, 555. But we're grounding some energy here. We're giving you some structure. Till 3 years or so ago, the family, the dragon family, just handed out money to all the liars claiming that they were going to do humanitarian projects, while all the while they continued to enslave humanity, continued to feed the military-industrial complex around the world, continued to do the atrocities that they are famous for doing, that we see all around us. They continue to do this, and it was funded by the family. 3 years ago, okay, there was an awakening. The hierarchy of heaven is being birthed within the same hierarchical structure that has brought us the hierarchy of hell. Why? Because it's a new awakening. It's a new beginning. It's a spiritual transformation that's taking place in the hierarchy that controls, that actually has the most control and the ability to bring the golden age of enlightenment to humanity. It's still a hierarchical structure, but it's a hierarchical structure with a different mission. Instead of controlling the world's people, its mission, its vision is to liberate, step by step, the human family. It cannot, as I said in yesterday's video, it cannot happen by just simply pouring money on things. Because of the structure that exists, then certain individuals and certain groupings and corporations would steal the money that were poured out. They would end up with it all right back again. It has to be done in such a way that there are structures and safeguards built in to a new structure, a new hierarchy, a new authority, if you will, that liberates man from the old system, from the old paradigm, from the matrix of the old world order on steroids. Because there is a new world order coming, and it's not coming from the dark entities that have run the old system. It is coming from, well, maybe some of the people in the old system that were hierarchical in nature. Maybe some of them are having their awakening too, and realizing and repenting and bringing forth a different attitude, a different mindset, a mindset where they want to tell the truth, because they realize that lies have a price to pay. When you are a liar, there's a price to pay for that. When you don't choose to live in truth, there are consequences to that lifestyle and those actions. And that's true even in our personal relationships. If you have a relationship that's built on lies, if you're cheating and you're keeping things from your partner, that relationship is not a sound relationship. It may be a relationship of convenience, but it's built on lies. And there are many relationships of convenience in the old matrix. Convenience because that's the way we've always done it. Because we can't face our own shadow. Because we can't face the truth about ourselves. And about how we think and what we don't even know what we feel a lot of the time. And we're waking up to all of that. We're bringing a new perspective, a new perception into awareness, into reality in our lives. This is what's happening. There is an awakening going on, and it's changing at every level. So that the counterfeit things that we've dealt with, the crooked hierarchies, the crooked financial system, the crooked corporate structure, all of that is being revealed and it's coming down. The shadow, the collective shadow, is now there for anybody that has discerning eyes and a yearning heart for truth to find. It's there because of the internet. It's there. There is an alternative media that is telling the truth. Are there lies mixed in with the truth? Well, it's not that they're lies so much, it's just that our understanding is unfolding. Our awareness is opening up. And we still see through some of the old structures. And as we see through some of the old things, the old ways of looking at things, our old filter system, there's still some distortion in how we describe it and how we put it into words. But we're doing the best we can. I'm doing the best I can to try to explain to you that there's something bigger going on here than what the mainstream media told us. And some of the boogeymen and scapegoats that they've used, that, well, money is evil. No, money's not evil. Hierarchies are evil. No, hierarchies aren't evil. A system is not needed. Anarchy must rule. Every man and woman must be for him or herself. Well, that would ultimately be chaotic if there weren't ways to redress grievances, if there weren't ways to resolve issues. And that is a structure that allows issues to be resolved, allows concerns to be addressed in a reasonable manner. That's called society. That's human culture. We're going to have that, and we have to create it, but it has to be based on truth. We've had a system based on lies, based on fraud, based on deception, based on control. The new system has to have certain controls until people wake up enough to do the right thing, until our hearts are changed, until the internal apocalypse takes place, bringing down the lies and down the old structure of letting the slave be in charge, the ego, the little self be in charge, instead of dancing with the higher self. It's not about eliminating anything. It's just about putting it in proper order and bringing balance and harmony to a structure that is our life. And as our lives change individually, the life that we experience in the world will change. It does lead that way. But so many people think that because they can find certain things, peace and stuff in their hearts, that that's automatically going to bring peace in the world. They don't realize that there has to be an inner and an outer work. There has to be an aligning of energies within and without, because ultimately within and without are the same thing. They are just, one is just a manifestation of the other. The visible is the manifestation of the invisible, the hidden stuff, the occult stuff. All of this is changing now, and I see that my time is really drawing to a close. So I want you to understand and get it through your head that hierarchies are not bad, and we're going to have a hierarchy that's going to bring us freedom. We're going to have real kings and real prophets and real priests and people that do the right thing instead of a network of people that continue to do the wrong thing, as we've known for so long. Things are changing. Be encouraged. Allow yourself to be purged of all of the lies that you've told yourself, and allow yourself to step in to a new perspective, a new reality, a reality that comes from the hierarchy of heaven. Thank you for listening. Namaste.